Hello everyone, it's Akiziel here, and today I'll be reacting to Hunter the Parenting Chapter 3.8 Half Demon All Hunter Boy Story by Brother Alphabusa. I'd like to apologize for I think it's been like 3 weeks of delay since the last video I did, but there have been technical difficulties. But, that out of the way, as always, I highly recommend you check out Brother Alphabusa's channel if you aren't doing so already. He and the rest of the team at Ogre Poppening make awesome stuff. It's always a treat to watch what they make. And a link to the original video will be below in the description. And without further ado, let's see what Boy's up to. I was a bit concerned after he saw what happened with Horse.
The night was almost pitch black, rain falling like the tears of angels as Akira stood on a rooftop overlooking Aku's city. The rain was heavy and cold like his heart as he looked down on the evil city, filled with the evil creatures of darkness that made him so disgusted. He swept the red highlighted black hair from his pale face, turning his face towards the dark sky.
You know, with it. Is this going to be Boy's edgy fanfiction?
The rain masking his tears that fell from his brown eyes as he thought back to that fateful
Oh, it is his edgy fanfiction.
day that brought him.
I forgot how horribly long and boring the drive to the chapter house is. I left my Diaz at home. Entertain me.
I would, Marcus, but I think Sodi might need some help with the wheel.
I need no such thing!
He's driving well high again, isn't he?
Sodi! Turn, please turn, please turn. I did
Oh,
not.
now we got pen all over the page. Well, alley-oop.
Fine, I'll entertain myself with trash. What's this?
Oh, I did
You can.
You know, just, also, aside from Marcus being whiny about being bored on the drive, I get the feeling that he might actually, you really get into, like, the whole, story writing and imagination thing with Boy.
Hey, boy. What you doing?
just writing stuff.
What are you writing?
Oh, it's a kind of story.
A story, huh? Do tell.
Well, for the past little while now, I've been working on a story that I'd really like to get published. Published, yeah.
Ooh. Can I see it?
But, well, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. What if you loathe it?
I understand your hesitation, son, but know that we all support you.
Yeah, don't be nervous. We're your family. It's not like we got anything better to do on the car ride to Occam's. Ain't that right, love?
No, right, Paul, right?
That'll show you for tailgating!
Well, for a man who generally does believe the road is inherently a PvP zone.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to.
Boy, I am willing to proofread your story.
You know, why am I not surprised that Big D would find a way to make just a drive to the chapter house was an adventure in itself?
But you must know, if you do not wish to share your tale with us now, You have no obligation to.
Okay, so all the good stories on the internet usually have something called a beta reader that you have look at your stuff. So I took the liberty of making a copy for everyone.
Oh, it seems you've been preparing for this.
Jesus, how many pages is this? No wonder the printer was out of ink.
Marcus, ink is replaceable. Boyhood wonder is not.
Well, yes, but also, printer ink happens to be one of the most valuable liquids it's on the planet, apparently.
Sir, that was a stop sign.
We had right of way.
Sir, that was a red light.
I was over the line. Over the line.
Sir, you're supposed to go around the roundabout, not through it.
So that's why they call it that.
So, Big D's driving is just Carmageddon.
Hey, Dad, you doing your best to not get us arrested? Or killed?
What? Yeah, sure.
Father, Boy has written a story he would like for us to read.
Oh, what a creative little scam! Why, I'd love to.
Sir, you're
Driving.
driving.
Or doing something that resembles it.
You can't! That's true!
That's okay, Grampy. You can maybe just listen and tell us all what you think.
Nonsense! I shall partake. For my darling grandchild, there is nothing in this world I would not do for you. I would stare deep into a burning eclipse, punch 100 jaguars, even eat a shapely boulder like a common household velociraptor.
Everything.
Wait. A household velociraptor? Actually, you know what? It actually that kind of makes sense now that I remember that if I'm not mistaken, and if there's a war going on in the Hollow Earth where you have Nazis riding dinosaurs, and there's like in World of Darkness or something like that that I was told about.
You just described is extremely dangerous.
Well, I don't want any of that. I just want you to hear my story.
Then support your creativity we shall. Nailed it!
We should read Boy's story before we all die.
Right.
Maybe someone should put a, you know, like a plow or something on the front of the golden goose. It was given the amount of stuff Sir D tends to run over/through.
Say, boy, what's this story about?
Okay. So, this story's called Akira Cross Vampire Slayer. It's about Akira Cross, who's this vampire slayer.
Whoa.
Don't patronize me.
Right, fine. Well, I have consumed countless miles worth of text on sharing sites and online blogs. If you want me to play hardball, I'm a connoisseur in the field of literature written by 11-year-olds and stand ready to viscerally tear apart your story limb by limb.
No.
Marcus, you're sleeping in the chimney if you do your internet critic bit right now.
Man, you are coming at me from all sides. I see how it is.
Look.
Just the way that no came out. Also, sleeping in the chimney. Has this happened before?
I am open to all feedback. I fear nothing but pain, death, and...
Horse. Crackus?
You said this was a vampire slaying tale? Tremendous! You'd know all about that, wouldn't you, you little dead-eye? Well, it is hard to read the script and avoid collisions at the same time. Perhaps you could, read us in. Assign us roles as things progress.
Sure. Okay. Here goes. The night was almost pitch black, rain falling like the tears of angels, as Akira Cross stood on a rooftop overlooking Aku City. The rain was heavy and cold like his heart, as he looked down on the evil city filled with the evil creatures of darkness that made him so disgusted. He swept the red highlight.
Also, just by the way, I get the feeling that this is that this also may be partly inspired by Samurai Jack, because if I remember correctly, the original Samurai Jack cartoon was airing in the time period the show took place in. Also, the whole Aku City with the bad guy being Aku.
Highlighted black hair from his pale face, turning his face toward the dark sky. The rain masking his tears that fell from his brown eyes as he thought back to that fateful day that brought him there. Akira came from the legendary Cross family, a clan of vampires hunters.
Wait. So is he? Isn't I kind of wonder if the translator's notes that he put in there are him pulling an anime and well, or rather pulling doing what mangakas do, where they'll add these little notes to explain things to people, like what some of the sounds mean and so on, and for people who aren't familiar. Also, is that so? Garlic sun, gun stake. I assume that's holy water, and a torch. All right, makes sense.
From all around the world. His father Slab was a Master Chief in the Marines before he became a vampire hunter, and his mom Yumi was a priestess who hunted demons in Japan.
Ah, the Yokai. Many a fearsome creature under that designation.
Sorry, boy, I don't mean to
His father Slab reminds me a lot of Door. Like, Door was in the army, granted, given he called it his old mining days, I'd assume that he was a sapper.
digress, but have you actually fought yokai before, Sodi?
Ah,
I mean, I've heard stories about there being special vampires in Southeast Asia, but never anything about a confirmed yokai sighting.
Yokai?
Ah yes, the Kuei-jin, which Marcus says do not exist because those are regular vampires. Here's coming after them.
Why, the true to life was the Dover demon! But Kuei-jin? Mistakes! Fantasies! Delusions of those who dream of the mysterious Orient. At best, a cute misunderstanding. At worst, a vile Occidental conspiracy to prevent you from supporting your local Vietnamese takeaway!
God, I wish I got that recorded.
Right, but what about yokai in general?
Oh yes, just as there are
Okay, so I'm guessing then that Big D likes Vietnamese food.
various and sundry cryptid critters in Western nations, so too do mysterious beings exist in the East. Take, for example, the dreaded and pernicious...
Please, we've heard the Onryo story 1,000 times.
Oh, have you now?
You got knackered with some salaryman, found yourself at a third-floor girls' restroom at a high school, then managed to summon Hanako-san.
And I fist-fought her!
Come on, Dad. Everyone's already heard the toilet ghost story.
Who's Hanako?
Oh, apparently not.
Well, first of all, it wasn't just Hanako-san. It was her three-headed lizard as well. I was nearly dragged into hell through that toilet. Thank you very much. Second, that wasn't what I was going to say in the least. No. What I speak of is the fearsome Kappa.
Ah yes, the turtle monster, or that dies the water on its head spills, and that will pull your soul out through your posterior.
The Kappa? You mean the little duck turtle guys that hang out by rivers and eat cucumbers?
And drown horses.
Precisely them! In a land surrounded by water and covered in a latticework of rivers and streams, the Kappa is one of the most dangerous apex predators imaginable. They swim like torpedoes from hell.
Cool.
They're strong enough to pull a fully grown stallion into the water. Have
Yes, they absolutely despise horses. And I think cows as well. Basically anything with hooves.
teeth sharp enough to shred its liver in an instant. They have 3 anuses and release enough toxic gas to choke a bear.
Okay, I've never heard of the 3 anuses thing ever in 600 years. But I do know about them and their flatulence because cucumbers.
3 buttholes.
And if they don't render your fat from your hollow, marrowless bones, do you know what they do?
Wait. Why would your bones be hollow and marrowless? Like, does he think they're all birds?
They pull your soul right out of your sphincter.
Okay, no, come on, now you're just pulling my leg.
You think I jest about anal soul extraction?
You've lied about worse
You've
things.
been to the country, you know. But fine, if you don't believe me, ask your friend Grimmerly when we get to the chapter house.
Please don't.
I'm almost certain she could tell you all about it, what with her unyielding love of Japanese culture.
She can tell me about anal soul extraction?
I think he means she can tell you about Kappa's.
Just Marcus's reaction. Just the incredulity in his voice.
in general. Oh, well, honestly, I wouldn't rule out Elise knowing about anal soul extraction.
When the threat of rectal shenanigans looms, your only defense is a tight clench and a cucumber at the ready to placate the thieving magpie. Or you could bow at it so the water in the little divot in its head falls out and it can't move any longer.
Oh, yeah, because kappas are polite, and if you bow to them, they're obliged to bow in turn, and when the water starts to spill, they're paralyzed.
When you pour some more water in and become best friends for eternity unending. Those were the days.
Please.
Well, hey, Dor, thought you fell asleep.
I believe it is time we return to the story. We have spent a great deal of time on anus attacking monsters without giving Boy meaningful feedback.
Oh, it's okay, Dad. I was getting lots of good notes. I'm gonna include kappas in the story somewhere.
Please do
Not.
not.
Okay? No butt stuff. Anyways,
Look on Marcus and Kitten's faces when he said that.
he and his younger twin brother Ryu trained every day at their mansion in Japan, which was actually an old castle from the feudal era. They trained to use katanas and sharkins.
Pause. Sharkins?
Shurikens.
You know, like Sasuke has? The throwy star things?
Oh, sure.
Oh, he watches Naruto.
Shuriken. Yeah, you'll want to change the spelling, otherwise people might think they threw sharks around as weapons.
I don't know. I kind of like the mental image of vampire hunters
Throwing
throwing
sharks.
sharks at monsters.
They trained to use katanas and shurikens, and their mom taught them spells for binding demons and ghosts. But Akira's favorite training was the gun training he had with his dad, because he loved to shoot assault rifles, and sometimes his dad would bring home experimental guns like the crystal pistol, which were always cool.
A crystal
So the Needler from Halo.
pistol, you say? Just to ensure I'm witnessing its form in the mind's eye theater correctly, is this a pistol made of crystal, or a pistol that fires crystals? Or perhaps, is it both?
If it's the gun I'm thinking of, it shoots crystals that violently explode into shards on contact. Am I right? I bet I'm right.
Yeah, that's how it works, but the crystals are different, because they're magic crystals.
I absolutely shudder to think of the ramifications should the US government actually harness the power of crystal bullets in their weaponry.
Father, I do not believe the United States would even be interested in developing crystal ammunition, even without factoring for the low density of most crystalline materials and the likelihood of shattering upon firing, let alone upon contact. The logistics and cost of carving crystals into the proper bullet shape at a high enough rate of production to outfit even one soldier would quickly outweigh any benefits. Though, perhaps, if one was to house a crystal within a proper casing...
No, the casing would just get in the way! For any crystal's effect to take hold, the crystal must make direct contact with the flesh of the target. I remember not long ago, I was accosted outside the legally distinct obese feline by a drunken man claiming to be a druid.
The legally distinct obese feline. Do pubs in the UK actually have names like this?
And brandishing a knife made of pure jasper, as you do. If you know anything about jasper, you know it protects the bearer from negative energies. But when weaponized, it can fill its victim with all of the negative energy ensconced within its crimson form. As I learned when the druid housed his blade right into my lower abdomen. Though I quickly managed to slam dunk the druid into a nearby gutter. For days after, I found myself mired in malaise and malcontention, stifled under the weight of all of the negativity now pervading my body, thanks to that damned Jasper.
Are you sure it wasn't just because you had a stab wound?
Dad, are you sure you weren't feeling bad because you know, got stabbed?
Do you think I haven't been stabbed before, young man? I know the difference between a normal stabbing and a negatively charged stabbing. But I'm sorry, my sweet boy.
Big D, also a stabbing connoisseur.
I've sent us far afield once more.
Actually, that makes sense considering the number of weapons he has.
Continue.
Starting to wonder if I should have said no comments until the end, please. Were. Everyone was happy in their peaceful lives, but all that changed one fateful day. It was after dinner when the vampires attacked. Slab took his favorite double-barrel shotgun. I typoed. Slab took his favorite double-barrel shotgun, which was loaded with UV bullets, and ran to the courtyard of the mansion.
Pardon me, boy, but is that a typo too?
Castle Mansion. Canshin?
Huh? Oh, mansion? No, it's a mansion that's a castle. So a mansion. I can switch it to Massel if that makes more sense, though.
Personally, I'd say stick with either mansion or castle. The portmanteau might be a bit confusing.
Portman's toe?
Continue.
Oh, this is Slab's part. You want to read this, Dad?
Yes.
UV bullets, though.
Take the kids and run.
Slab shouted at Yumi, and he fired his way out of the house, while Yumi grabbed Akira and Ryu and ran. But she only made it to the private dock in their backyard when they came face to face with their greatest enemy, Gilgamesh, the king of Urukai!
Wait a minute. The Urukai from Lord of the Rings, or
Oh no.
or is it
not
Lords of the Ring?
ancient Mesopotamian mythology? Or is he an orc? Mesopotamian orc?
He was a massive man with a massive beard and an evil smile full of razor-sharp teeth.
That's right! That's exactly what he looked like!
He laughed
Of course, Big D he would know about ancient Mesopotamia. Also, just the way he was vibrating.
loudly and evilly. Grampy, you're really loud. Maybe you should read for Gilgamesh.
Oh, it would be an honor, sweet child. Did you actually think you could escape from me? Oh, pathetic.
As he laughed, he tossed the body at Yumi, knocking her off her feet. It was the body of Slab, drained of all its blood. Yumi broke down in
Okay, so he's an evil, ancient Mesopotamian vampire orc.
tears, unable to fight back against Gilgamesh's incredible power. She pleaded with Akira and Ryu to run away, but they were quickly caught by Gilgamesh's wicked henchmen. Akira was forced to watch as Gilgamesh bit his mother and brother in the throat, quickly draining them of all their blood.
Stop! I'm sorry, please. I just need a moment to compose myself.
Is Big D having, well, for lack of a better term, Vietnam flashbacks about something that happened to one of his actual partners and potentially children, given how many partners and children he has?
Dad, are you okay? You're not having a flashback, are you?
No, just not only have the rock upon which the family foundation was built, the honorable slab, laid to ruin, but to see the very lives of the sweet, nurturing Yumi and the rambunctious scamp Ryu snuffed out so viciously. I knew Gilgamesh was a vile fiend, but this is truly a new low of villainy. How could I not be moved to tears at the tragedy of it?
I mean, I'm not having a hard time.
Marcus, be nice.
All right. Okay. We're good.
You know, I've only just now realized is that on his flintlock pistol stake spear thing that Kitten uses, that he has a string tied to the trigger. I just never noticed that before.
Good. I'm good. Please continue.
As Gilgamesh laughed evilly once more, Akira had enough. He screamed, feeling a burning rage rising inside of him, and suddenly there was a flash of light. He unleashed all of his anger into a burning aura and formed a giant flaming katana in his hand, cutting down the vampire that had captured him.
Oh!
Okay, I'm seeing where he gets more of those inspirations.
His parents had never had the chance to tell him and Ryu, but his father was descended from the Nephilim, ancient angels, and his mom was descended from Yokai, Japanese demons. This made him half American, half Japanese, half Nephilim, and half Yokai, which made him extremely powerful.
Dor should probably revisit some math lessons with Boy, but that aside, the sword kind of reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho, though the spirit sword that one guy had, combined with Goku going Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z.
Nephilim, Yokai,
Actually, and those are both things that are airing on Cartoon Network in this time period.
and human together. The blood in that hybrid is as potent as they come. Akira is among the most powerful entities I've ever heard spoken of, even in legend.
Oh, sorry to interrupt again, but there's something I've come to notice. You don't appear to use commas in your writing. Is that a stylistic choice, or...?
What's a comma?
Commas are an admission of defeat in syntax form. They are for people who have no confidence in their own words. They speak of hesitance, of pausing, and you should never pause. Speak your words as lightning.
In addition to teaching Boy about ancient literature, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, Father insisted that he preside over Boy's grammar lessons.
Which, as you can see, went about as well as our math lessons.
Don't think I can't hear your sarcasm, son of mine. I taught you all to be mavericks of the written word.
I'll spell your name with a comma after every letter.
Son, you curse me so!
Break!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What a rush! I love driving.
Continue before we crash, boy.
He mowed down wave after wave of vampires with his angry sword, but he knew he wasn't ready to fight Gilgamesh yet, so he jumped into the river and was washed away to safety. That was 5 years ago. Now, Akira was back in Aku City, seeking the final, truest vengeance against his mortal, immortal enemy.
By Jove, what an absolutely cracking introduction this was! I have no words. Beyond the words I said earlier, of course. But it had thrills, it had chills, it had gut-wrenching tragedy. I couldn't think of a better beginning than this.
I think it could probably use a little expansion. This is a big, life-changingly awful thing that happened, and you've got maybe a paragraph or two on it. Maybe make it a whole chapter unto itself. Flesh it out. Really lay the angst on thick.
Well, I like it so far. It just needs a once-over with spell check and some commas is all.
How dare you!
Perhaps specify that the crystal pistol uses shelled crystals rather than crystal bullets.
Is that really all you have?
Anyway, back to it.
It was time to get to work. He put on his headphones and put his favorite song on his LG chocolate.
Ah, I see. So it is the boy making notes as he goes along, like in a manga.
Crazy Frog. He chuckled ironically. Some might say he was pretty crazy after all, like the Crazy Frog.
Actually, it's not the Crazy Frog. Its actual name is The Annoying Thing. Crazy Frog is the name of the song.
Marcus put on his favorite artist, The Annoying Thing. Marcus chuckled ironically. Some might say he was pretty annoying.
Oh my fucking god.
Son-in-law, you crushed my son into the ground like a hydraulic press with your potent modes of humiliation.
The song is in fact called Axel F, as it is a cover of the theme from Beverly Hills Cop and not an original song. Additionally, the character may have originally been called The Annoying Thing, but its name was changed to Crazy Frog. You're wrong on both accounts, brother.
Oh god, not you Hey, wait, since when did you know fuck all about Crazy Frog?
Since my son began his obsession with that mind-numbing nudist.
He's not nudie though. A lot of cartoon characters are just drawn like that.
Boy, you can see his penis.
Wait, what?
Are we
Yeah, you see, yeah, most people assume that was the frog's tail. Frogs usually have very tiny, nubby tails, and don't think a tail's supposed to be in that position.
sure we all watched the same video?
Boy! Let's continue.
He leaped off of the 50-story tall building and shot like a rocket to the street below. The force of his landing and his steel-toed boots making a crater in the street where he landed. The rainwater bounced off of his black trench coat, which looked almost like a straitjacket, and his black and red chain rave pants as he walked.
Now where have I seen a wardrobe like that before, Marcus?
You're of the big and tall persuasion like myself. Fat pants provide both ample breathing room and storage space. They're handy and they make me look cool. Continue.
Akira walked to Duskheart Academy, his high school which was only open at night. He never liked going
Why is the high school only open at night? Is it full of vampires?
to school much because he felt like everyone was always looking at him funny, and any one of them could secretly be a monster in disguise. Tonight was the night he started his Economics 101 class.
Oh god.
No, Akira!
But as he walked into the classroom, he got the shock of his life. Standing behind the desk wasn't a teacher, it was Gilgamesh!
What the fuck?
Instantly, Akira
Okay. So So the villain from his backstory who killed his family is just hanging out at his high school that's open at night. And is that a button-up shirt and a tie he's wearing? He's a teacher at this place.
Drew his sword from his backpack.
Oh, it is a button-up shirt and tie. He's got pen and pencil in his pocket too. Wait. So over the last 5 years, he retired from being an evil villain to become a school teacher at a school that only opens at night. This is a vampire school, isn't it?
But Gilgamesh just laughed.
Now, young student. I think you know there's no weapons allowed in the classroom.
He chortled.
Because I'm a fascist.
Akira grit his teeth, but he
Because he's a fascist. You know, I have a feeling he learned that word from Big D specifically.
knew he was right. He couldn't fight Gilgamesh here and expose the secret that he was a vampire hunter and Gilgamesh was a vampire.
Why not?
Angrily,
I'm assuming he's actually going to incorporate that whole thing where it's like, you know, masquerade breach and blood hunting and all that. Also, the part of his... Oh, and he can see through the part of his hair that's supposed to be red, I think.
he put his sword away and took a seat in the back of the classroom and stared daggers at Gilgamesh at the other side of the classroom.
To ensure I understand, Akira is not actually staring the daggers into existence, correct?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, I don't think he's a mage.
No, he doesn't have that power yet.
Yet.
Something else to look forward to.
As it turned out, Gilgamesh was pretending to be an economics teacher named Greg Mesh. But what was he there for? Was he there to keep an eye on him? To probe him for weakness? Akira couldn't figure it out, but he had other things to worry about. Namely, that economics was really hard. Maybe Greg was making the class harder on purpose. As Akira made doodles in his notes, he noticed a girl sitting beside him, looking over at him occasionally. She had black hair with blue streaks that went down to her chin, and she wore the usual school uniform, but she had on a black and white striped scarf, and she looked kind of emo, but in a cute way. Akira was also wearing his school uniform because he had changed before he got to school. When she saw Akira,
His school uniform, except he keeps on the spiked leather collar he wears.
looking at her, she
Please don't tell me a spiked leather collar is part of this high school uniform.
looked away, blushing. He caught her staring at him a couple more times, which started to annoy him a little. When class was over, Akira stopped in front of the girl's desk as she was packing her backpack. Hey, I don't like being stared at, he said, glaring at her. If you don't stop staring. He turned away with his eyes closed. I might have to kill you. The girl blushed and looked away and poked her fingers together shyly. She looked like she wanted to say something, but she didn't. But then she held out a note, and Akira took the note. The note said, "Meet me at Mirakuru Park at 4 a.m. Oh, and then I put a little author's note in there to explain that Mirakuru is the Japanese word for miracle, just in case anybody doesn't get it.
Ooh, yes, very helpful.
You know, the don't stare at me or I might have to kill you. Just lay. That reminds me of some of the stories people used to share on DeviantArt at one point.
Helpful that.
When he read the note, he looked up, and the girl was gone. How mysterious, he said. Maybe I should do it.
I don't know, Akira. This sounds like a trap. Is it a trap? Wait, no, don't tell me. But maybe a hint? No!
I suppose she could be a secret vampire. Though if she was, considering Akira's been raised to fight them, would he know one on sight?
Well, she did mysteriously disappear after giving him the note. Maybe she's a ghost schoolgirl. Woo.
I think you'll all be pretty surprised. But I won't ruin it for you.
You know, for some reason, when he says, "Is you'll all be pretty surprised," is on one hand, the obvious is that she just has a crush on him. I have a feeling he might go the route of yeah, she's his long-lost sister.
The rest of the school night was pretty boring. Akira was a straight-A student and an amazing athlete, thanks to all of the vampire hunting, so school wasn't hard or anything. Sometimes, if he was really bored, he would just leave and have the teacher send his homework home to him. But he couldn't stop thinking about that weird cute girl from his economics class, so he decided he would go to Mirakuru Park after school. Mirakuru Park was the most popular amusement park in town, with 12 of the world's biggest, fastest, and scariest roller coasters, and an awesome arcade. It was also open 24/7, which made it a popular hangout place for kids who went to Dustcart Academy.
Okay, that actually sounds neat if I'm being honest.
But when he got to the park, he saw something that made him angry. The girl from class was waiting for him at the entrance to the park, but she was surrounded by 3 punks!
Who are obviously vampires.
Uncle-in-law? Do you want to play the punks?
You know, I can only imagine how this is going to go, given that Kitten is so calm and well-mannered usually, although he can be quite snarky.
Sure, I will.
Boy, love, ain't you a pretty bird?
One of the punks said with a grin.
Come here alone, did ya?
Said another.
Ain't got a mate or nothing. How's about you show us a good time, Sheila?
This is Brock and his buddies.
Asked the third, and they all chuckled maliciously. Yeah, kind of like that, but more menacingly, you know?
Oh, this is the best story ever.
Just to clarify, are these supposed to be punks or bogans?
What now?
Australian punks.
Oh, no, they're supposed to be British.
I appreciate the local colour added, but you've got a little of your slang mixed up.
I'll just fix it later.
No, please keep it in there. Keep it in there so that when the inevitable audiobook comes out, your uncle's opening lines can be, "Oh, I love what's all this thing."
This is all the mootest of points, as I will be the one to record the audiobook. Anyway, keep going, for I crave to see more heroics from our young slayer.
The girl looked scared and confused. That was when Akira saw their razor-sharp teeth behind their smiles. They were all vampires! He knew he had to do something fast. He pulled out the black-bladed katana, the Tenshi no Ken, from its holster on his chain paints. I meant to write pants, but I wrote paints instead. I gotta fix that. And pointed it at the vampire punks. I guess I should have known from the smell that you were a bunch of no-life suckheads, Akira said to them.
You tell them, Akira!
What's the matter? You too scared to pick on someone your own size?
Oi, what's all this then?
Said one of the punks when he saw Akira.
Oh, you having a laugh, mate?
Yeah, I'm having a laugh, said Akira, at your dumb faces.
Kick the collective ass, young hero!
Oi, you wanna fight?
Oh my god.
Shouted the second punk. Yeah, I do, said Akira, and the vampires all rushed at him at the same time.
It begins!
Akira swung his Tenshi no Ken once so quickly that it looked like he barely moved at all, and all of the vampires stopped.
Oi, you missed, mate.
Said the leader of the vampires, and they all laughed until suddenly they stopped laughing. Akira raised his Tenshi no Ken, which was covered in blood, and the vampires looked at it with horror until suddenly all of their heads burst from their bodies in a fountain of blood and gore, eyeballs flying out of their skull like a fountain of eyeballs before their bodies disintegrated into a fountain of ash.
The word fountain's being used an awful lot in these descriptions.
Classic one-stroke duel! My darling grandson, truly you are a connoisseur of the dramatic.
An impressive move, for certain, though highly inadvisable. Taking on so many blanks within so close a range would be suicide for most.
Akira turned to look at the girl who was backing away slowly in fear. It's okay, you're safe now, said Akira as he held out a hand to the girl. A thank you would be appreciated.
Ooh, such a gentleman.
He sounds like you when you actually do anything around the house.
Uncle Marcus, how about you play the girl?
Oh, I think my voice has been rendered high-pitched enough from all the squealing. Why not?
Yeah, I think I'll pause here and continue you later. Or, I think I might actually start shedding tears from how much I've been laughing. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me. And until next time, ta-ta!